Waka. We are here for Mecum in the Morning here on the final day, Brian. It's already come to a close.
I'm kind of sad. This has been an action-packed Florida Summer Special.
It has. And we're here at the Osceola Heritage Park for day 4 of the auction, day 3 of Mecum in the Morning.
And episode 56.
Episode 56, we are rolling.
I can count.
You can.
I can count.
You can.
I can.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad. But thanks for joining us. We have a lot in store for today's show, Brianna. We really, and we generally do have an action-packed show. We have a lot of good content coming.
Exciting content
coming in the next 30 minutes. And so we hope that you are joining us around the country, around the world. And of course, it's always great to see our fans and followers in person here at the auction. It's going to be a busy day. It's a great opportunity. If you're in the Florida area, come out with your family and friends. Even if you're not bidding, you can get a spectator pass. You can come take in one of the best car shows out there.
And honestly, spectating is just fine because there's a lot of energy in the auction room yesterday. I can guarantee there'll probably be a little bit more today.
Yeah, and you contributed to a lot of that energy.
I did. We'll check that out a little bit later.
We're going to check that out a little bit later. But what we have in store for today, we've got 42 pieces of road art, perfect for decorating your garage, man cave, or she shed. We've got 281 great collector vehicles, and that includes motorcycles and, of course, trucks, not always cars. And then we've got 2 collections that are going to be also represented on the block, Brian. So busy day, lots in store.
You know, even more exciting news this morning is when I walked up to the booth this morning, I noticed that you and Alyssa are twinning today. You guys are wearing probably my favorite shirt that we're selling in the Mecum shop. It was designed by our very own Mike over at headquarters. It's our Mecum motorcycle tank t-shirt that Rutledge wore yesterday during a live broadcast, but it is truly my favorite t-shirt that we have. It is one of the many items that are available in Mecum shop, as well as that really cool Florida Summer Special tee that Matt and I both wore on the show yesterday. So today's your last day to come here, buy in person, but also, again, if you're ever interested, go into Mecum shop online and add things to your cart and have them sent to your door.
I will say, too, this shirt was perfect. I wore it on July 4th.
I did. I saw that. Well, you and your wife were enjoying Disney, I think?
We were.
Yeah.
So was representing Mecum and got some red, white, and blue.
Red, white, and blue, and motorcycles.
There's
nothing more American.
On the flight, too. But anyway,
did you?
I did.
Yeah.
But Mecum merch is always a great place to find some gifts. Yeah, I had a couple people comment. A woman stopped by our booth yesterday. She said she loved the mugs.
Also available in the shop.
Also available. And then someone else I chatted with this week, he said he was a huge die-cast collector, and he commented about already purchasing some of the Johnny Lightning and Mecum collab. And I said, buckle up. I said, we've got those cars over in the merch place at the staging lane. So, and like you said, if you can't come out in person to shop on site, you can, of course, find those on mecum.com/shop or merch. I forget.
Shop.
Shop.
Yeah, but it's also never too late to shop for Christmas. Stock up now, get ready so you're not...
It's not too late to shop for Christmas?
Not too early to shop for Christmas. You know, it's Saturday morning, Matt. Either way. Or just buy your loved one a gift just because you love them.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. All right, well, let's talk about
motorcycles. And you did say you bought me a motorcycle and it never showed up.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. That's a morning show deep cut. I like that. That's good. That was a while ago. But we do have a great motorcycle behind us. This is part of our set here in the Mecum Midway. It's a 65 Norton G15CS Scrambler. Sold earlier this week, Brian. Really neat piece. Obviously, you're a motorcycle, dare I say, expert.
I would not say expert. I would say I'm an enthusiast.
Okay.
I definitely love British motorcycles. Norton does come from the British motorcycle family, I would say. Competitors back in the day would be a BSA, Royal Enfield, Triumph. The Scrambler family of motorcycles are a lot of fun. Typically used for on-road, off-road back in the day. They had like a little bit of I would say, a James Dean, kind of Steve McQueen edge to them. Scramblers are a lot of fun motorcycles. So.
Alyssa was geeking out over it because it's got
She geeks out over all motorcycles, let's be clear.
We were having a conversation yesterday as we set it behind us. It's a right foot shift. What does that mean and why is that significant?
It's very confusing. So if you're someone that rides motorcycles, you're really used to shifting with your left foot. But shifting with your right foot, you really just have to get used to like switching. It's different. You'll see that a lot with like choppers or whatever, like modern choppers where they just like to be different, or I would say complicated in that kind of sense. But yeah, it's a different style of riding. You really have to acclimate or like change like your riding style to be able to adjust to the right foot shifting.
Nice. Cool. Well,
Yeah.
that is behind us, and that did sell. That's going to a new customer. They're going to go out and do some right foot shifting with it. But Brian, let's talk.
Maybe some scrambling too, since it's a scrambler.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe they're going to do some scrambling. I love it. Let's talk about Camaros. And somehow you got caught up in some Camaro excitement here yesterday up on the block. All right. So I guess before, how did this come about? So you were involved in the sale yesterday of a third gen. How did that go down?
All right. So one of our consignment agents who handles phone bidding, usually at auctions, unfortunately had to go home. They're having a family medical emergency. Hopefully everything turns out okay. But we had a lot of interest in this Camaro, a lot of interest, whether it was in the room yesterday on the phone. But we had 5 people signed up to do phone bidding or to bid over the phone, but we didn't have 5 consignment agents. So I tried to talk Kayla from our social media team into it, and she wouldn't do it. And so everyone just looked at me and they're like, Brianna, are you willing to do it? I was like, okay. And they're like, well, there's a female that has signed up to bid on this. And they're like, how about we just pair you with the female? And I was like, all right, it's going to be woman power. We're going to do this. So I got on the phone. I called her. I said, hey, I'm Bree from Mecum. Typically, I don't do this. I'm the head of marketing and communications, but they've signed me up to do this. I was like, listen, we're up against the entire room. We're up against internet bids. We're up against these 4 other guys that are, phone bidding against us. I was like, we've got to win. And then I asked her why she was going to bid on this vehicle. And that made me want her to win even more. Is she's really close to her dad. And he loves that generation. He loves that year. 1987 was the year that he loved. He loved that color. And she wanted to buy it for her dad. And I was like, I could not, because my dad's my best friend. And I just felt like, okay, it's woman power. I had to do it for Gus, who's not here, taking care of family business at home, the whole situation. So I looked at the guys and I said, we are going to win this. And it was, I know the clip doesn't show the audio and it doesn't show the whole sequence, but from the minute that car rolled off the block to the minute it sold, it was like intense battle. I haven't seen a lot of energy like that in a while. I guess I got really excited because it was my first time selling, a car on the block or whatever. And it was so much fun. I was so nervous that I was going to lose this bid for her. I wasn't going to bid fast enough. I wasn't going to react. It was like the adrenaline rush is kind of like riding a motorcycle. I'm not going to lie. And I was on like a high for the rest of the day. It was the coolest experience ever. I'm so glad the owner, or the lady that bought it, her name is Samantha. She actually lives in Chicago. So I asked when the car gets delivered if we can go be there for her accepting the delivery of the car and her dad getting the car. And she said yes. So I was really cool. I was really excited to be a part of that experience. And that Camaro is pretty awesome.
It's very cool. And it was part of our TV coverage on ESPN Plus. So for those that have that, you can go back and watch it. But what's notable, Brian, is that, like you said, the car is a great collector piece. It's highly original. It's unrestored, just over 3,000 miles. And I had several conversations this week with some media outlets, with some other team members, just about how we continue to see the world of collecting evolve, both in our customers as well as what a collector car is defined as. And it's kind of exciting to see a car like this. It's to me, it's so humorous that you were involved in the sale of it, because I was watching this blue Camaro, beautiful car.
Well, it's kind of funny. When we sat down for dinner last night, you had mentioned, the car, and I'm like, Matt, that's the car I sold on the block last night. Or you're like, serious? And I pulled up the video that Alyssa is showing, and it was just kind of funny how it all worked out. This was one of the cars that was talked about, throughout the auction, like you said, with the media, and it was really cool to be a part of it and for us to be able to now follow the story on its now forever home and being able to, share that story. Yeah.
And we were talking about it last night at dinner because it's one of the highest prices that we've seen for a third-gen Camaro. And I really do think it's more, it's a sign of things to come as we do see newer collector cars crossing the block. So really neat piece. Well done being a part of that. I love seeing your energy. I'm hyped up.
I bring the energy. You do for bring everything.
You bring the energy.
Yeah. So put me in again, guys. Like,
Coach. All right.
If you want to win a bid, call me up. I've got you.
All right. Well, speaking of energy, Brown, we're going to go back to FuelFest. We talked about that earlier in the show. Great automotive series, really kind of bringing the Fast and Furious lifestyle to life. Alyssa and I attended the LA event, and we're going to be part of some more later this year.
Yeah, Dallas and Phoenix.
But while we were out there, we've already given an overview. We've spotlighted some of the great consignments that we had in our booth. We had that sick 67 Twisted GTO. We had those pair of Fritz Mustangs. But while we were at the show, we caught up with a very well-known celebrity who actually organizes the show. I'm here at FuelFest LA with the founder of FuelFest, Cody Walker. Cody, this is awesome. What a great event. How did it get started, and what's the overall vibe like?
You know, I wanted to create something that would attract and bring together the car community at large. I'm a big fan of cars since I was a little kid, and obviously growing up as a little brother Paul, like I grew up around some really cool stuff. And he has this organization called Reach Out Worldwide, a nonprofit organization that helps communities after natural disasters. I wanted to create something that could give back, so I created FuelFest. So we've actually raised over $700,000 for his charity to date. Man, it's crazy. Like, it started as a very simple idea, and here we are. There's a lot of people at this show that are like enthusiasts already, but there's a lot of people that are just fans of the movies and Fast and all of that stuff. And so we're helping to like nurture that next generation of people that maybe aren't fully like 2 feet in yet, that like just have seen it on TV and they go, oh my gosh, this is real.
So what's next for FuelFest?
Yeah, you know, we're doing more and more shows. We're coast to coast. We go to Japan. Car culture and love of cars is a universal language. You know what I mean?
It really is. Speaking of cars and a love for them, what are some of your personal favorites that either you have or that you've seen today?
Oh, I'm all over the map. Of course, I like the tuner culture and the JDM side. Like, I have a couple of those myself, but I also appreciate V8 muscle and superchargers.
There's a lot of young people out here, so congrats on bringing in the next generation of enthusiasts.
Thank you. Yeah, we're really proud of that. Thanks for being here today. Great having you guys.
We're great. We're looking forward to being back. A couple more of these things. We can't get enough.
Yeah, thanks, Mecum. Appreciate it.
I love the heart behind the show. It's connecting with younger enthusiasts, and we're excited to be a part. Keep an eye out at Future Fuel Fest, where you'll see Mecum auctions.
You know what? At the end of that video, I saw my favorite car that was there outside of what we had in our booth. There's a photographer that I follow online. His name is Larry Chin, and he has decided to do some drifting, and he got a BMW, late 80s BMW, and he did the 7-Eleven livery, and it was in that closing shot. But it was parked right next to the Mecum trailer, and a lot of the photos, because obviously that BMW has shown up in a lot of shots because it's, well, Larry Chin is a very famous photographer in the automotive world, but now that he's drifting, he's getting a lot of coverage. So it was really cool to see that, you know, Mecum's booth was in a lot of backdrops of the photo of that really cool and iconic car.
Makes me want a Slurpee.
I would love a Slurpee. You're going to get one after the show for us?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Waffle House waffles.
Yeah.
And
waffles and Slurpees.
And yeah, we'll have to talk more about that because I'm sure viewers might be confused by that line.
Oh, yeah. If you didn't watch yesterday's show, we did talk a lot about Waffle House.
We did.
And dancing.
We did. But before we move on from FuelFest, special thanks to Cody. It was great to connect with him. And like you mentioned, we're going to be part of the Dallas and Phoenix FuelFest events later this year. So if you're coming, if you're in those markets, put it on your calendar. It's a little bit out. It's out in the fall and early winter, but great events, great opportunities to see some very cool tuner cars and kind of really, again, celebrate the Fast and Furious lifestyle and culture. And big news was made at LA with Vin Diesel there in attendance, announcing some details about the final installment of that series. So I'm sure more excitement to come as we move more into the year.
Should we have movie night when that last installment comes out?
We should have.
Like a Mecum Fast and Furious
like
movie night?
Like a reaction.
Yeah.
We should do a Mecum morning reaction.
I think we should do that.
I like it with
Definitely.
Cody.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's get
Cody, you're invited.
The other thing I really liked about that package was you got to see the awards. So we sponsored the People's Choice in the paddock area, but I was able to be up on stage giving out the awards, and we talked about this earlier this week, but they were skateboard decks, super cool. We're going to have to get one, have it be part of our set.
Absolutely.
All right, well, bringing things back here to Florida Breon, we've had so many great consignments. We were talking about this last night at Denna. Also, one of the interesting ones was a Red Wagon, which sold.
It did. You told me last night. I cannot wait to see that cruising down some road somewhere.
So again, if you missed earlier this week, I had the chance to go out and preview a custom Oldsmobile Sierra that had been made into a
Radio Flyer.
Radio Flyer wagon.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say Little Red Wagon because it goes
because of the song.
But that sold. But that was just one of many, many unique pieces here on site. You don't see an AMC Javelin too often, and I'm guessing you've never seen one like this. This thing has been radically transformed, and underneath the hood, that's a Hellcat Redeye, making upwards of 900 horsepower. There's all kinds of other modifications, and inside the cabin, I love this plaid seat inserts, and there's a roll bar, and that center console, that's from a Challenger. Over an estimated 3,000 hours went into the build, and this color, striker green, is getting all kinds of attention. Just another eye-popping find here at the Summer Special.
It's like a Christmas car.
It
You
is.
got the plaid seats and you got that green.
Yeah.
Kind of digging it.
I mean, that's one killer sleigh for Santa. I don't know. I was trying to think of a Christmas thing. But yeah, didn't work. But very cool. And I will say, even while it was actually just outside here of our set, and while we were there filming that package, Breon, I mean, the car was getting all kinds of attention. Just, you really don't see AMCs. You don't really see custom AMCs. And then you don't see custom AMCs done to that level with that kind of radical powertrain. But really unique find. I loved it.
Yeah, me too.
Very cool. Well, we have a new addition to our TV team, to our TV announce team, Breon.
I've been very excited about this.
We've been very excited. So if you tuned in yesterday to the first day of live TV coverage here at the fairgrounds, you likely caught one of our new voices with Rutledge Wood.
Mm-hmm.
And he joined us in the morning. We were able to grab him to find a little bit about what he's up to and some of his excitement for Mecum.
Let's check it out.
Hi, my name's Rutledge Wood. Pleasure to be here.
Why the heck are you here sitting with us today?
Well, when you get an invite to Mecum in the morning, you clear your schedule
Yes,
and
you do.
you get there.
Or else we come and find you.
That's true. That's true. So thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah.
I'm here covering Mecum. I'm so excited to be a part of the family again. I covered a bunch of Mecums in 2015, 2016 when they were on a different network and I was part of NBC, and I got to kind of basically come like moonlight and come have fun.
Yeah.
And so it's so exciting to get to be back and be here the rest of the year and on into the future. So really excited.
Yeah, so now we're on ESPN Plus, as everyone knows.
That's
this
right.
is your first introduction back to us here at Florida Summer Special. You chose the hottest auction of the year.
Yeah.
But you're also bringing the heat, so it's like double heat.
Why don't you fill us in as long-term viewers about your automotive preferences? What do you like?
Sure. So I like weird stuff. Like I've owned at this point almost, I bet, 300 cars at this point. I don't have 300. I've just bought and sold them over the years. I always like the stuff that's a little bit different. I've had a 68 Camaro with an LS in it. I've done that. I like weird things that jump out, things that are a little bit different. Love the kind of JDM style. I've had K trucks, K vans, but I'm always been a huge Toyota guy. So like I've got a Mark IV Supra 93 twin turbo that converted from an automatic to a 6-speed. I like a little bit of everything, but definitely the weird stuff. I had a 70 Charger that looks a lot like the 68 we had here, except mine was white and flared out. I've also taught Bree about the taillight.
I appreciate it because, my co-host Matt we've had this as our table decoration for, 55 episodes now. And, he's never taught me anything about what's sitting on the table, Brett.
To be fair, Matt and I first met, I believe, on the Hot Rod Power Tour.
We did.
With our dear friend JK, and I didn't meet you on the Hot Rod Power Tour.
No, I was not.
So I just want to give him a little credit that he loves cars so much, he will go to other people's parking lots and sweat with them.
I think he's also saying that he and I go back a little bit further.
That is absolutely
You're
true
a
because
fan.
I've only been at Mecum for a year and 6 months. So couldn't be truer, Matt.
I love what y'all are doing, by the way. Let me give y'all a little love for Mecum in the morning. What an awesome idea to get to involve people and let them see different stuff. Because really, I think what I love so much about Mecum is that every time we go somewhere, it's a different audience, it's a different crowd, and they're different cars. And I love that. It makes every day exciting. And for car people, it's really fun. Like you can find something here that you love with anybody. Dana and I spoke for about 60 seconds in the 2 years that I was covering Mecum before.
Yeah.
Because that dude is always working, always hustling. And I saw him this week at the headquarters.
Yeah.
And it was like this my old friend Dana. And I was like, oh, this is fantastic. So really, it's so neat to see because I was here right at sort of the torch passing to Frank, and Frank really stepping up more and more in the role. And it's been so cool to see him over the years, because obviously, even though I haven't been covering it, I've been watching a ton of Mecum.
You better have.
Obviously. I mean, it's hard not to love it. So, for me, it's like a reunion to get to be back with Bill and Scott and my friend Chris. I want to show people that, like, the proof is in the pudding. So I'm like, hey, let's give me a budget and I will buy a car at a Mecum auction. I'll fix it up. Like, we'll do some YouTube videos, whatever, and then we'll run it back through and really show people the process. Because I think there's a lot of people that don't get how easy it is to have a car that you can run through the auction. So, and maybe a lot of people still don't realize how easy it is to show up to buy a car and then get your dream car and take it home with you. Like, it's all right there. So I want to try to connect the dots.
Let's make it
Now that he said it and we've been talking about it, I think the three of us need to make that happen, because we've talked about buying a car off the block, something that needs a little resto help, but like.
I mean, that is a good point. One, I'm definitely in. Let's make it happen. But two, remember, Brianna, at Indy, we spotlighted that scenario where enthusiast had bought it from Monterey.
Yep.
Had it for a couple years, and then he made a bunch of modifications, put a late model Demon powertrain in it, brought it back. So it was one of those things. I'm trying to spotlight that can happen. You can do that. Before the cameras come on, what's your process? What do you do?
So the secret is that I do a lot of prep work, but no one would know that. So, like, I've looked through every car that's going through today, and then tonight I'll look through every car that's going through tomorrow. And I try to look at the pictures and I try to pick things that are different. What sticks out to me? Okay, well, if this was my car, would I make any changes? What do I like? That kind of thing. Because I always try to remember that everybody that has a car that's gone through here, they put time and effort into it. So it's something special to them. I love when you see a family that's built something and they've worked on it and they're going to run it through. That's when you learn a ton about people and what made that vehicle special to them. I mean, because let's be honest, on paper, it's just a transportation device. But that's not what cars are to us. There's so much more. Like, I think that's what Mecum does so well, is connect people and places and things to this really special time. I didn't rehearse that.
You are a storyteller.
I don't like to talk. Hey everybody, I'm Rutledge Wood, and I'm so excited to be back with my friends at Mecum. You can catch us on ESPN Plus live 12 to 6 today. Don't miss it. There's nothing in this cup.
He's a hoot.
He is a hoot.
Yeah, I think he's bringing the energy, just a kind of different kind of vibe that we've needed.
Yeah, he's got a great personality. He's super knowledgeable. I'm excited to kind of hear his commentary, his perspective. He's done a lot, seen a lot. I think he adds a lot.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
That was a lot.
That was a lot. But we'll definitely have to get that plan in place about, Rut and I will have to find
I know,
something.
you and I were texting about it last night.
We were, yeah. I think we're going to try and make it happen later this year.
Yeah.
But it's a good, not only is it fun, but it's also a good, exercise isn't the right word, but it's a good example of what you can do with something that you find at Mecum auctions. You don't always have to go and put it back in your garage. You can take it out on events like Power Tour. You can make all kinds of changes to it and then bring it back and do it all again or do something different.
Yeah, sometimes people buy cars to customize them or fix them up and then just sell them, because the thrill of it for them is fixing them up, not the actual driving aspect of it. And it's just designing it or making it cool and then having someone else drive off with it,
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm excited.
And if you've done that, if you're watching, let us know. Say, hey, that's what I did. I bought something and here's what I did, and I brought it back and did it all again or did something different. And of course, wherever you're watching, drop us also a comment. We love seeing where our viewers are tuning in from. We had people around the world this week.
Africa, England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have an English accent for us today?
I'm not going to try an accent because I know I can't do it, and I don't try to embarrass myself that much on TV.
All right. Well, as we wrap up, thanks for joining us here for 3 very busy days of Mecum in the morning as we wrap up day 4 of the summer special. The live TV coverage is going to kick off at noon today on ESPN Plus, which is where you can catch Rutledge and the rest of our great TV commentators. I think as we sign off, Brianne, we should say cheerio or not. Have a great day.